Sniz with Bloodband, World 11, Lord of Ultima. In this video, I'm going to do one more tonight, just covering some really basic offensive military stuff. The last time I did videos, I did some stuff on defenses in terms of how to shift support around and so on. This is more just the mechanics of just some basic attacks. Stuff I'm covering here could apply to land or sea. Most of what I've done offensively has been land so far. I'm just learning how to apply that to sea, but many of the same principles are the same. As I've said in some of the videos I've been doing tonight, I have yet to encounter much in the way of sophistication. In fact, even some of the top alliances, top players, I've done some city swapping and conquering, and their basic city designs are pretty retarded, really, not to mention their battle mechanics. So far, when you attack somebody, they see an inbound attack or two or three. The thing that they do is they push every bit of defense they can possibly send, all the support they can send from all their cities in the area. They put right on that castle before your troops arrive. Though I have a lot penciled out for how to A, not do that when we're attacked, and B, counter that when somebody applies the strategy I have in mind and counters to counters and so on. I've got, like I said, I got a lot of stuff penciled out, but so far it hasn't been anywhere near that sophisticated. So this is just for your standard. They're going to pile in and defend. The key is to understand the difference between an assault and a siege, and assault and a plunder. I've seen some people plundering castles. Unless you really just want the resources, plundering a castle is kind of useless. In an assault, your troops travel straight there, attack one time, travel straight back. They carry back all the resources they can, so it has the effect of a plunder. At the same time, an assault-type attack, they are trying to do as much damage as they can possibly do. So they are killing as many units as they can possibly kill. You're also suffering high losses as a result. Where a plunder attack, even though, yes, you can plunder a castle, you're not getting any more resources than you would otherwise. The only difference is your units are attempting not to engage as much as possible, I guess. So losses on both sides are dramatically smaller. So when you're looking at attacking a castle, you got siege, plunder, and assault. Really, I see no value in plundering a castle, unless I really want to plunder for resources, and we've pretty well established plundering is not a way to get resources very much in this game. So I pretty much always assault castles, even when I'm trying to drain them from resources and troops at the same time. Now, an assault, like I said, the assault is going to do massive casualties in one wave. They're going to travel straight there, attack, and travel straight back. Where a siege, they're going to travel there. When they arrive, they're going to begin. Their first wave of attack is going to occur, and at that moment, let's say it's 5 minutes after the hour that they arrive initially. An hour later, another wave's going to hit, and they're going to sit and attack every hour at that exact moment in the hour, that 05 whatever, basically until you cancel them, or until they're wiped out, or until they conquer if you have a Baron in the mix. So, for the most part, when attacking castles to destroy, conquer, or just reduce their defenses, those are the two basic attacks: is assault and siege. And there's a lot of mechanics in terms of how to use different castles to accomplish different things. But let's just cover a quick basic attack. I've got 3 castles here, 3 offensive castles, 1 defender. If my first attack arrives at 8:05, now that's an arrival time. Let's say I sent 150k Zerks at this castle, and it arrived at 8:05. I'm just going server time, military time. That assault would hit at 8:05 and immediately return, and they'd come back with all the resources they can carry, unless they just didn't have enough resources. Then let's say from Castle 2 I sent a siege, and that siege arrived at 8:06. The effect that would have is the assault would arrive, would do, hopefully, normally I crack a castle with 1 or 2 assaults, huge, large army, just to basically designed to just kill everything they have. Then typically the siege will arrive. Let's say I sent 50k Zerks in this siege. Now this siege arrives at 8:06, and it will attack again at 9:06, 10:06, 11:06, and to infinity until I either conquer, destroy, cancel, or am wiped out. Now, if I send a second siege from this same castle, let's say to arrive at 8:07, this is where it gets fairly important to understand how this works. What will happen is the first siege, so let's say this was the chain of events, at 8:05 my Zerks hit. Now these would leave their castles at all different times based on castle times, but if you're timing out an attack with the defense minister, if you want to scribble out all the math to stage and time out these are all based on arrival times. So what I have laid out here so far is an assault force of Zerks from Castle 1. It arrives at 8:05, it hits, it kills, it scoops, it leaves. Then I have a siege force of Zerks from Castle 2 arriving at 8:06. Then at 8:07, let's say I have a group of catapults arriving at 8:07. The way that works is the Zerks will hit at 8:06. They will do their attack that wave without the catapults there. 1 minute later, the catapults will arrive. They will not attack at 8:07. You'll just get a report saying that catapults joined your siege, and they will just join in and merge with that same siege that's scheduled to attack again at 9:06. So in this configuration, your Zerks from Castle 2 would arrive at 8:06. At 8:07, your catapults would join them without attacking at that moment, and then at 9:06, that single siege, now including your catapults, would attack and start damaging buildings. And then let's say from the third castle, you sent a second siege, and that siege were to arrive at 8:10. And this is a key to understand with sieges. If you send additional forces from the same castle on an existing siege, those forces will arrive and merge in with that siege and then attack with them on the next wave. Where if you send a separate siege from a separate castle, that second siege will arrive on its own timing, attack when it arrives, and then it will continue to attack every hour on the hour based on its arrival time. So in this case, what you'd have is the assault from Castle 1 would be gone at 8:05 as soon as it hit. The assault from the siege from Castle 2 would be attacking every hour at 6 after the hour. That would include the forces that joined them at 8:07, and the siege from Castle 3 would be attacking on its own every hour on 10 after the hour. Now, where this all becomes important, and again, I'm not going to go into a lot of how to apply this, although a little bit, but it's, I think, really important to start understanding the intricacies of these mechanics. Now, each attacking force, each event that generates a report, your units from that attack meet their entire defense. So let's say this was a well-defended castle, and let's say they had 200,000 troop strengths worth of defense. When your assault from Castle 1 arrived, they would meet all 200,000 with their assault. Now what's left of them would all meet the Castle 2 siege at 8:06 and again at 9:06 and 10:06, and what's left of them would all meet the 8:10, 9:10, and 10:10 sieges. So every wave, every assault, and every wave of every siege, your force, whatever you were able to send from that castle, meets their entire defensive force as one force, including all supporters. That creates a massive advantage for the defender, and in large scales, I'm kind of projecting this forward to massive large-scale battles. It's going to be very important to kind of factor all that in. But anyway, I'm going to have to do this as a two-parter, so I'm going to pause at this stage and do a second part here shortly.